teacher, where have you been? What's happening? What's going on? or any of those comments. If you have been thinking anything along those lines, thank you for, keeping me under your radar, for, thinking a bit about me. I really appreciate it. And it's interesting because, on today's episode 114, I want to talk about leveling up. And that's a concept that I thought of. I was thinking before I post or before I record this. A part of me is like, what could be, let's say, a nice and positive way of coming up with a name for this episode that we have here, right? And as much as I want to put Killing the Dragon part 3 or 4, similar with the concept of killing the dragon, right? I thought, funny enough, leveling up has to do in one way or another with that, right? So as much as I want to make that episode, it is not possible just yet. So I thought maybe this episode could be on leveling up. Maybe you might see it. So maybe you have seen, I watched recently a video that mentioned something like monk mode, where you are just, super focused in whatever it is that you're doing. Or just another one. I was just casually watching a video and somebody mentioned the book, and I mean, obviously I cannot recommend the book yet because I haven't read it, but just the book's title, what got you here won't get you there. I want to make this episode a mini life update just to tell you guys, the ones that have been following the podcast, and basically, well, funny enough, a part of me is still digesting this in a good way. I got the opportunity to meet up with some friends, and after meeting them and having people face to face asking me like, hey, I caught up with all your episodes. When is the next episode coming up? Or people sending me a text like, I have here a message from a former student. I respect everyone's privacy, so obviously I'm gonna take out names and everything, but the message goes like this. Hi Emilio, hope everything is going as planned. I've noticed that you haven't posted any Instagram stories for a while, and I hope you're doing well. You are one of the few staff members at Swinburne who genuinely care about students and go out of their way to help them. Love heart. Love heart to you back. I'm sure you know who you are, and you're probably watching this, so massive thank you for the message and the support. And when those things happened, like, I might not be a big YouTuber like Mr. Beast. Obviously, I'm not a huge podcaster like Joe Rogan, but a part of me thought, wow, I mean, I don't want to sound like I think people don't care about me, but a part of me is like, wow, people do notice that I haven't been posting things on Instagram, that maybe I haven't been as active as I wanted to on social media, for example. Or the other side way of saying that is like, again, when people telling me in person, hey, I have watched or I have listened to all your episodes, I'm ready for the next one. Then a part of me goes, wow, I might not be that big. Perhaps, maybe for some people, I am up there in their list, maybe people watching Joe Rogan or watching Mr. Beast, maybe some of you guys include me in that list, and I am beyond happy and honored by that. So a part of me thought maybe I should make a mini update / video telling you what has been happening, and just so that, you understand a bit more where I'm coming from. I am okay, just, juggling with different things. I really thought of putting in the episode juggling, but maybe juggling doesn't sound as cool as leveling up. And well, I love video games, so maybe level up would be a better choice. So what has been happening? Look, in short, when I read the title of that book that I haven't read yet, what got you here won't get you there, really got me thinking, because I am at this stage, say for example, with some of my personal goals, right? One of them being passing the Japanese IELTS or PTE. For those of you who are interested, it's called JLPT. And, it's interesting because that has been a goal that I've had, certifying my level of Japanese, because I feel really comfortable talking like this or talking to someone at a tourist level, even if it is like a bit of a deeper conversation. Obviously, I will struggle with certain vocabulary, And you know, after studying, or sorry, I should say, after doing a lot of self-study for many years, and now in a more serious way, taking Japanese in university, right? Well, Japanese and Spanish and English, I should say. A part of me is like, certifying my Japanese will be extremely good in the future, because it's like, okay, it shows on paper, right, my skills in the language. And if you've been following through, you know that it's been a challenge, because I mean, I haven't passed the test just yet as I'm recording this video, 18th of March 2025. The good news is that what I have been doing, I am being like my own guinea pig, meaning that I am experimenting different things and seeing what is working for me and what is not working for me. And because of that, I'm always doing, or like I'm trying to adjust whenever I take the exam. I've taken the test, I believe, 3 times. And I mean, on each attempt, something has happened, good and bad. And I'm learning from those experiences. I'm, being critical when it comes to my practice, my learning, and then thinking, okay, how can I fill those gaps? What can I do to obviously level up, like the title of this podcast episode? So a part of me thought, look, as much as I want to keep making interviews, I mean, and I've got a lot of ideas in mind. I've got topics that I want to explore in more detail, in people that I want to interview with, or that I want to record with, I should say. Maybe that sounds better. And maybe, delivering more here on YouTube, because I really like putting out videos. Well, I should say not only on YouTube and on Spotify, but I thought of just sharing with you some of the things that I'm juggling with, some of the things that I'm dealing with. And up to this point, obviously the things that I am doing are working, but I feel that if we look like at a bell curve, or if we look at a graph, I feel that let's say normally with any language, right? Or with any skill, when you start learning something, you usually increase relatively quickly at the very beginning. But then, you hit a time when you plateau, where you stay flat, or where we have... I made a video about this on podcast. Anyways, on this called the law of diminishing returns, right? Where you need to put a lot of hours, 10, 20 hours, to just get a tiny bit better. I feel that I am at that stage with, say, for example, my Japanese study, where, yes, I feel comfortable with speaking and listening, but to really get more comfortable with reading and writing, it takes more time, right? And this is one of the things that made me consciously say, look, I have to level up, I have to improve in that area. Let me reduce the amount of, let's say, use I have on social media, as well as like putting episodes. Because if I put episodes, or like if I put an hour-long episode, I mean, it is a bit tricky when it comes to doing the editing, when it comes to, living life, because I also have friends, family, full-time work. On top of that, I also teach as well. And it's been not super tricky. It's been a matter of like balancing things out, right? So that made me consciously take the decision of, let me put the foot off the pedal. Let me just, let's say, quote unquote, relax a little bit more when it comes to podcast episodes, when it comes to, let's say, engaging in social media, even making videos on social media. I really want to make more videos on Instagram. And the reality is that I feel that at this stage, because I have such a big, huge goal, I have to readjust and be a bit more selective with my time. Not only that, not a part of me, since I already told you that I'm studying in university, I've got assignments, and on top of that, I'm working on a thesis project, and that is quite challenging. I mean, I remember looking back when I was, 20 to 22, or let's say in my early 20s, I had a lot more time to, do all these things, or let's say to study and not worry too much with other commitments, right? I think that's life. You get older, you get busier, and then it's a matter of like being selective. So for me, it's simply been a matter of that. Like, I think that happens to a lot of us. If the days had, or like if every day had 27 or even 30 hours, I will be doing the podcast, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. But now I have to like narrow down a little bit. And as I'm saying this, a part of me is super grateful when it comes to the support that I've been having throughout the years from friends and family. You know, some of these videos, some of these episodes you're listening to right now, they used to get 5, 10, 15 views. That's not to say that now all my episodes are 1 million views or like 100 views or like 500 views. I mean, some of them are, and that's just crazy, blows my mind. But I'm just so happy and grateful for doing the podcast in the first place, for let's say getting started, for doing it. And a lot of the things you see behind me are from you guys, from friends. Like, say for example, that so here behind me, the flash mark or like the lightning mark was a present from a friend. The Mario that you see there was a present from another friend. People that have been supporting me in this, and the list goes on and on. So again, I'm just extremely grateful, happy. But maybe some of you or some people out there, a part of me is also like, I mean, people may not notice too much, but people do notice. That's what I've noticed from, you know, like this past week or so, after catching up with friends, after meeting some people. People do notice those things. If you maybe stop showing up on social media, or like, you know, if you're a bit more quiet, let's say, and it is not only fair that people get worried, but it's also so nice, you know, because life is busy. We are all busy dealing with challenges. Like, for example, I just told you, I'm dealing with my university assignments, my thesis, my self-study with the Japanese exam. So, and this is just, you know, of course, the podcast, etc. So I'm coming up here telling you a bit about my life, but I am 100% sure some of you, just like me, you have got 3, 4, maybe even 5, probably a lot more. Maybe you're listening to me going, Emilio, wait till you hear my story. And I can imagine, because, you know, even though I'm not a mental health professional, I hear a lot from students, and I know it's tough. You know, it's not easy. I was an international student as well, especially with all the changes with visas and all that. So it's been tricky, you know, balancing everything. So as much as I want to, I have been purposely producing, let's say, or making less content. And also because I am working as well, as I was telling you. Another thing that I'm doing that I think is worth telling everyone as I am doing this is that I am making more videos, more content for my students who study with me. Because as you know, I have my Patreon page where people can come and study with me. And I'll leave the link in the show notes, as well as the link here on YouTube. And, you know, there's been an increase in the people that come to me. Just on the same way I am purposely not making too many episodes on the podcast, or the same way that I'm not using too much social media. Even though that is happening, that I am purposely not pushing out too much, I mean, it is so interesting to me seeing how more people reach out to me. And this is not talking about checking how I'm doing, etc. This is mainly because of all the changes with like the IELTS test scores, the changes on PTE, changes with visa requirements, people getting more sponsorships, and also there is more competition. That's the reality, right? If you go on social media, you'll see more people, I should say, maybe offering courses, coaching, etc. for passing IELTS, for passing PTE. And I am not putting anything, or not putting as much as I used to do before. While all that is happening, more people are contacting me. And this could be from bad experiences they had with other people. This could be because someone told them about me. That was something crazy, you know, and I'll just share this with you. I was on a phone call with someone who's in Adelaide. This person, I think, look, from memory, it lives in, let's say, let's say outside of Adelaide City, and this person is working, right? No worries. And this guy had a problem with the PTE test, and basically had a challenging preparation, to say the least. And then this person said, no, I want to practice with someone else, or I don't feel that comfortable. And then apparently this person's wife's friend said to him, hey, you should study with Emilio. You should contact teacher Emilio. Here is his number. Message him. He can help you out. He's very patient, this and that. And look, I'm not going to keep going because I don't want to make this sound like, oh, I am amazing, etc. But the point I'm trying to make is that someone in the other side, in another state, basically just heard from me, from another person. And this is also just to tell you that, yes, another thing is that I have been busy with like my own classes, right? And not only that, that on the same note, I am purposely, let's say, offering less courses, or like I'm a bit more, not selective, that's not the, well, that could be a way to put it, but I'm basically working a bit less on my classes, because then I have this problem of, I have a similar problem to what happened to me when I was preparing with triathlon, or when I was in a triathlon group. And basically, just to give you the short version, it was this challenge that obviously if I joined the triathlon team, I have to pay a membership, right? Fair enough, you have all the classes, but this was around 2020 to 2021, 2022. I can't remember exactly. It's between those 2 years, crazy lockdowns. And basically what happened was that I remember having a chat with a friend, and I was telling him, dude, I don't know what to do. If I want to be in the triathlon team, but to be in the triathlon team, I need to make a bit more money. And to make a bit more money, I have to teach, or like I will basically, do a few extra lessons here and there. Like I'll do a bit of private tutoring. So then the challenge is that the time when we have some of the training sessions, I am not supposed to, but it is around the same time that I can teach my extra classes. So I'm working more to get a bit more money to join the triathlon group, but I cannot go to, I can only go to, let's say, 30% of the lessons, or the practice. So it's not very efficient. And a part of me now is thinking in a bit of a different way. It's like, okay, obviously I have to work, right? We all have to cover bills, etc. But I want to obviously also pass my test. So if I just work, that's great, obviously it doesn't hurt to have a bit of extra money in the bank, right? But on the flip side, then it's like, okay, this other goal that I have gets delayed. And I'm basically telling you all of this as another way of saying that I'm putting also a bit of effort into my Patreon page, because more people in 2025 have been joining the page, and I'm helping them out through classes. Well, when I say classes, I mean like video instructed lessons, as well as videos about both exams, IELTS, PTE, as well as looking at the things that we can do to improve our to improve our writing, to basically organize our essays better, all those kinds of things. And the good news is that you can basically do that at a relatively low cost. So, it's good that people have been joining, but on the same note, since people are joining, a part of me also has to put a bit of, let's say, I have to also put energy into that, because I want the page to be, and I keep telling students, I want the Patreon page to be like a Netflix for improving our English skills, for IELTS and PTE preparation. And what are you going to find there? Videos, activities, as well as basically a copy of my book as well, my audiobook. So all of this to say that I have also been putting a bit of time into the Patreon page, because obviously, as a teacher, my job is to take care of students. I want to help you guys out. I want people to pass the IELTS and PTE tests. Obviously, if you come to me, it's either because someone recommended you, or maybe you want to pass the test, or worst case scenarios 3 and 4, you took the test, something went wrong, and then you're looking for help, which is extremely smart of you. Or maybe you contacted somebody else and you had a bad experience for whatever reason. I'm not going to cover that in the podcast. And then you said, look, I want to study with a teacher who will take care of me. And then boom, that's amazing. I'll do that, right? So because of all these things, it has been a matter of obviously juggling, right, with all these things. And on top of all this, as I said earlier in the episode, like everyone, it is also good to have friends, to have family, and to, spend time with your loved ones. On top of all this, I'm also going to the gym, which is nothing crazy. I think I mentioned it in the episode. About a year ago, actually, I was basically putting aside my fitness, and, my bodybuilding years are way gone. My years as a professional triathlete are probably gone as well. And same goes with cycling. And I mean it in the sense that I'm not doing those activities because I want to be a pro and I want to go to the World Cup. Of course, it is nice to, get a bit stronger or increase your fitness and do certain races, etc. Like, for example, the Ironman. That was just crazy that I pulled that through. And, when it comes to that quote from the book, I think it's the probably third and last time I mention it. What got you here won't get you there. Really got me thinking, because it was like, maybe what I am doing, it's probably on track. I say that to students a lot of the time. And when they tell me, hey, how is this? How is that? And I say, yeah, look, it is on track. Students often go, what does on track mean? And on track means like you're headed in the right direction. So when I read the title of that book, a part of me went, okay, maybe I am on track with leveling up, or I am on track when it comes to achieving that next goal. And maybe up until now, hypothetically speaking, I was putting, let's say, 1 hour of study a day, right? Or we can use any time, 1 hour of study per week. But maybe right now, what I need to get to the next level is not 1 hour. Maybe I need 2 or 3. So this is the whole concept of basically doing a few changes in my life so that I can get to the next level, and then, the next level, and so on and so forth. So that finally, for those of you watching that have checked every single episode, and if you haven't, that's okay, you can catch up as well. I can finally make Killing the Dragon Part 4, I think it is. Funny enough, this title and that title came from a video game. And look, I am, as I said, super happy to be sharing this with you. It's like a bit relaxing in a way. Especially because you never know who is listening to you or who's watching you. Obviously, when I started the podcast, I remember that there were people listening that I didn't think would listen to me for a variety of reasons. Like some people who would listen to me and they would just go like, yeah, look, I don't have to pass IELTS and PTE, or I already passed the test, but I like the way you conduct interviews, or I like listening to you, or I like the topics that you cover, I like your examples, or you speak in a relaxing manner. All right, so everyone has got different reasons. And the thing that I'm trying to say with all of this is that probably it is good to tell you all what has been happening, because maybe people obviously care about me. As I'm telling you this, I clearly remember when a friend messaged me after I posted the episode of me almost not being able to come back to Australia because I had problems with my tourist visa in the US, and the mini situation I had when I was in Peru. And I remember like this text so vividly, as I am looking at the text from my former student. This friend was telling me like, Emilio, we love you. I mean, in Australia, just wait until you come back. You're gonna get a bunch of love from all of us, and it is not nice what it's happening or what just happened to you, etc., etc. So I just want to close up in that positive note and say a massive, massive thank you for checking up on me. I also can see that people continue to listen to the podcast, even though I am not putting as many episodes as before. So that is, fantastic. Obviously, I want to put out more content, but the fact that you are going out of your way, maybe sharing it with friends, maybe even listening to the same episode again. One friend basically told me, Emilio, I have listened to your interview with Billy on international students coming to Australia. I listened to that interview like 5 times, which, in hindsight, it is really funny, because when I was recording that interview, I'll leave the link in the description. A part of me is like, look, I feel that for some people, not even for some people, but in general, thinking about listening to the Australian accent, this interview is going to be great. It'll be good listening practice. And this person told me, yeah, look, I had to listen to it 5 times. So, yes, with all that said, massive thank you. I am doing well. I am only leveling up. With this, again, massive thank you to... And the last thing, should be big thank you for joining me, wherever you are. Maybe you are on a walk, maybe you're driving. That's another thing, and this is another important thing I should say. Like, one student that is with me now told me, Emilio, thank you for your podcast, and a part of me feels bad. I said it in a jokingly way, don't worry, I will put more episodes. And then this person replied saying, don't worry, teacher, you are every day with me. Every day I go to work, when I'm working in the morning, I can have my headphones and I listen to your podcast every single morning. I listen to you like listening to the news. OMG. What an honor. So obviously that's also one of the reasons that made me come here. Big thank you for checking on me wherever you were, maybe at work, maybe it could be you're working right now, maybe you are on your commute, maybe you're going shopping, maybe you're driving, whatever the case may be. I was with you. Thank you so much for being with me on this episode. I really appreciate it. Obviously, more episodes will come. I am okay. I am alive. And with all that said, I just send you a massive hug. Miss me. Miss me a little bit because I'll see you in maybe 2 to 3 weeks. But you will see me, no stress. And I'll see you on the next episode. Take care and bye for now. See ya.